What's up? So with the release of the Summer Drift skin, along with the start of Fortnite's 14 Days of Summer, this has got a lot of people reminiscing back to the days of Season 5. It's been almost a year since Season 5 has been out, and there are a lot of people that do genuinely miss it, as a lot of people think that this was the last great season of Fortnite. Instead of the map looking like this, we had this, and overall, it was just a really fun time for Fortnite. And anyways, today we're going to be looking back on 10 things that Season 5 players will remember and either love or hate. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel or I'll light you on fire, and let's get into it. So coming in at our number 10 spot, I want to start things off from the very beginning, and that is with the Battle Pass. Opening up Fortnite day 1 of Season 5 and just seeing all the new skins that had been released. And while I don't think Season 5 is the most loved Battle Pass, it still, to me, is one of the more iconic ones. You had Drift, which is even still today, obviously, a super iconic skin. Huntress, and then if you had upgraded your Battle Pass from the start, you would have also had Redline. And then from there, working your way up through the tiers with Sunstrider, then Sledgehammer, Rook, and finally Ragnarok. Maybe not the most loved Battle Pass, but again, I still think it was one of the best. But then the most second crazy thing, obviously, about the new launch of a season is going into the map and seeing what had changed. Now, with the removal of both Prison and Moisty Mire, we saw the addition of the entire desert biome, which is still in today. Now, while these new locations certainly were very awesome, there was another new location that I think really stands out to Season 5 Fortnite players, and that was Lazy Links. Anarchy Acres had gotten the boot, and we saw the introduction of, I think, one of the more favorited locations of Fortnite, which is Lazy Links. Because we still have the desert biome, I don't think people are as nostalgic about it, but Lazy Links is that location that you look back on and I think get a little bit sad about. Considering Lazy Lagoon taking its place, we certainly didn't get a good trade, so it is sad to see Lazy Links gone. And I always found it interesting how many people dropped here, because I didn't think it was that great of a location for loot, but every game you get like 10 people going here. So people obviously liked it. And yet another huge change to the map of Fortnite that I think really both switched up the gameplay and just the feel of the map were rifts. Now, yeah, we do still have rifts in Fortnite, but honestly, it's just not the same. Now, I may be wrong here, but it seems that the only locations left that still have rifts is Paradise Palms and Pleasant Park. But back in the day, there were rifts everywhere, and this was really the main way to get around the map. You had them high up on mountaintops and even down at the bottom of that little waterfall next to Despacito. But one of the most iconic locations that had rifts were the stone heads that were also all around the map. All those stone heads around the map that had a few chests and then rifts were really like a nice little touch. It was a low traffic loot area, but always a guaranteed like at least one chest plus some mats and easy transport out. And while minor, again, they are locations that I do kind of miss. But that said, the most iconic way to get around the map by far in Season 5 were ATKs. The shopping carts had come and stayed, but they weren't a viable way to get all around the map. You needed to be on a hill, and they were really buggy. But with the introduction of ATKs, that all changed. You could bring 4 players on a cart, drive around, drift around, and honestly just have a really great and ridiculous time with them. I look back to using these things and just having so many ridiculously stupid clips with my friends, but it was a really fun and good time. And while I do like drift boards, I certainly wouldn't say no to swapping out the quad crasher with an ATK once in a while. Now, while all these changes to the map were fun and good, there was one thing that wasn't so unanimously loved. The week before Season 5 started, we saw the introduction of the drum gun, following the next week with the introduction of the SMG, and then a week later we saw the compact SMG. And people slowly started realizing that the meta was changing. Shotguns really weren't very good, and SMGs were. And this got a lot of people upset. Fortnite took a huge step in a different direction, changing the meta from being precise and accurate and quick with shotguns to, well, really just spamming down a drum gun, compact SMG, even maybe an LMG altogether, and just slowly dwindling materials down and killing the enemy. It was frustrating to both good and bad players. It was really the only way to win the game, and while even looking back on some of these guns and being like, dang, that was fun, this is one of those things that for me, I definitely look back on and think tainted Season 5 the most. If there had been a better balance between shotguns and SMGs, I think it would have been okay, but it was really the only way to go with an SMG, and that was just frustrating. Now, a couple weeks into the start of Season 5, we had a huge event for Fortnite. This was the 1-year anniversary of its launch. And while not overly significant, we certainly saw some new fun things added into the map. We saw new challenges for a spray and, more importantly, a cake-style back bling that I'm guessing probably a lot of you guys have. And to go along with that cake, there was cake all around the map that healed health and was kind of just a fun little point of interest. There were some new skins added into the game. And last but not least, we saw both a visual change to the battle bus as well as a new song, which I think might bring back a lot of nostalgia for you guys. Now, while there certainly were a lot of changes to Fortnite, there was one event that I couldn't not include on this list. And that was the attempted rescue party of Chapadoodle. So ridiculous, but I couldn't not include it on this list. This is one of the most iconic clips of Fortnite from Muselk, so instead of explaining it, I think I'll just show it.
Why was he was like driving his golf cart over the edge. We gotta save him from himself. And, oh no. Was he trying to like drive it? There's a guy down there. Oh, there's a guy down there. They must have been like fighting and had like a fall. Hey dude, he must have fallen down there and run out of mats. That is way too funny. All right, boys, we're gonna execute a rescue mission. No man deserves to die alone off the side of the map. Wait, am I out of map? What? Oh no, it's at the build limit. You can't build lower, that's why he's stuck. We gotta drive the cart off the edge and then he can bounce off the roof and use that to bounce onto our stairs. That must have been what this guy was doing. Oh god, dude, if we slide off the edge. Oh no. Oh no. I'm coming for you, boy. I'm coming for you. Hold on. Musie's here. Oh no! We killed Chapadoodle!
Now, apart from just being funny, this was so iconic because Epic Games actually ended up throwing a tombstone for Chapadoodle onto the map. One of those nice things that Epic is just known for doing. Anyways, moving on to our number 3 spot, this is going to be the Cube. Now, the Cube is definitely one of the most memorable things of Season 5 Fortnite. During one of the competitive summer skirmish events, it actually spawned into the map. This baffled everybody, and for a long time it started rolling around and just kind of doing a lot of weird stuff. It turned on anti-gravity and would attack you sometimes, or maybe even heal you. And it rolled around for a long time until it eventually ended up in Loot Lake and changed the entire lake to Bouncy Loot Lake. Or as a lot of people called it, Lean Lake. This was a weird time, I gotta be honest. The Cube was weird, and the Loot Lake being bouncy was about one of the most ridiculous moments in Fortnite history. It was just so chaotic and stupid, but again, it's one of those things you look back on and you gotta smile, because it was pretty cool. Now, moving on to number 2, this is one of my personal memories of Season 5, so I wanted to include it. And this is a very specific location, which is now known today as Pacita, the little Pueblo village down at the bottom of the map in the desert biome. While this is still a very popular location today, what I wanted to mention on this list is, do you guys remember when like nobody dropped there? This used to be one of the most low-key and underrated spots in Fortnite because it was unnamed and had a million chests. It also had rifts to get out of it, but that's another story. This was single-handedly, I think, the most overlooked location at the time, as everyone was going to Paradise, checking out the new spots, and everyone would just overlook this place. But you'd get the few keeners that knew about it, you'd land there, get some kills, pop up to Paradise, and just continue on your rotation, and man, the amount of wins me and my friends got from this was just insane. And even today, it's one of my favorite places to drop if I'm coming from that corner of the map. So the old days of this location, I gotta say, just really bring me back with a lot of nostalgia. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, moving on to our number 1 spot, this is going to be Playground. At the end of Season 4, Epic had launched Playground mode for about 4 hours, and it was a huge failure. The servers just couldn't take it, and they had to remove it multiple times. But finally, a month later, on July 26th, Playground mode was added for good. And this, I think, is one of the biggest steps to changing Fortnite for what it was today. This allowed people to practice at the game and really contributed to people just getting so much better. And on top of that, it just contributed to so many funny moments and funny clips. So I really think that this was a defining moment for Season 5. It led to creative mode and really just what I think a lot of the current state of Fortnite is. It was a pretty big deal, and I remember the hype for this was just absolutely insane, so I couldn't put it any lower than number 1. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be our video for today. For this video, I actually had reached out to you guys on Twitter asking what your favorite memories of Season 5 was, and I included some of your tweets on this video. So if you want to be maybe included in one of the next ones, make sure to follow me on Twitter. If you enjoyed the video, please feel free to subscribe to the channel. If you're already subscribed, leave a like, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.